Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to Centurion's review of the punk rock band of Wargame Review Institutions. Today I'm going to show my newest acquisitions I got from auction. First I'm going to show the Hex and Chit war games, then I'm going to show the role-playing games, and then I'm going to show the miniatures. That way if you're only interested in Hex and Chit war games, you just watch the first third of the video and you don't need to watch the rest. But first thing I got was Strategy and Tactics number 200. Campaigns of the French Foreign Legion. Anything that has the Foreign Legion in it, I buy. This I've had before, Alsace 1945. I believe Len and I played it years back. It was alright. I got it for a price I couldn't refuse. Here's a card game. This is Pacific Typhoon, the World War II card game from GMT Games. Don't really know anything about this at all, but the price was right. Yeah, I'll open it later. Here's another Avalanche Press one. This is Defiant Russia 1941, the war against Nazi aggression. These ones are kind of, they're the size of microgames, but generally the Avalanche Press rules are more sophisticated than your typical microgame. So I don't really consider this a microgame, I just consider it a small game. Another one from Avalanche Press, 1945, Red Vengeance, the destruction of Nazi Germany. Here's another one of theirs. This is Red Parachutes, Soviet airborne assault across the Dnieper in September of 1943. Here's a good one. Leningrad, the advance of Army Group North, summer 1941. This is from SPI. I look forward to trying this. I like these old SPI small, thinner box games, I would call them. These are usually pretty good. This one here, when they auctioned it off, they said lock and load, and I couldn't see the game when they were holding it up that well, and I saw that it had a Huey on, and I was like, oh, it must be that lock and load game about Vietnam. Well, it's not. The name of the game is Lock and Load. That's not the publisher. But this is from Shrapnel Games, so hopefully this turns out to be pretty good. As you can see here, it looks like the counter's got good artwork on them and stuff. This I picked up for practically nothing. I tried it, what was it, yesterday or the day before, playing it solo. It's not suitable for solo play. This you really need 2 or more players to play it. It's a card-driven war game. I think with 2 players it will probably be satisfactory, but there's not enough to it to make it a good game. And also the playing pieces, even though they're made out of plastic, are actually not very good. Alright, this is Brawling Battleships, the action card game from Lost Battalion Games. As far as I know, this is the first game I've had from Lost Battalion Games. Here's a good one. Paul Koenig's Market Garden Nijmegen Bridge. I can't pronounce that, but anyhow, you get the idea. This should be fun. These have laser cut counters and stuff. Here's Leros, the island prize, the German assault to capture the island of Leros, 12th through 17th of November 1943, and this is from the Gamers. It's got a little bit of a stain on here, but hopefully everything's okay in it. Yeah, the Gamers here, they're from Illinois, or they were from Illinois. This one's from 3W. I don't get a hold of the 3W games very often. Dark Crusade, the War in the East, 1941 through 1945. This I couldn't pass up. The First World War from Phalanx Games. I don't have that many World War I games. I only have a few, so anytime I get a chance to try a new one, I usually do so. And this I picked up for one reason and one reason alone. It was $1. So I figure anything's worth $1. I've played this a million times in my life. As far as I know, this is the only copy of it I currently have. But hopefully I get a chance to play it again. So it's fun. It's a super simple game, but it's actually fun. I especially like the computer game versions of Risk and the different computer clones of it and stuff. Here's another one of those small games from Avalanche Press. This is 1942 Gazala. And another copy of Naval War. This is a fun card game. Strange Defeat. This is from Avalanche Press. This is a really good looking box cover on it. The Fall of France in 1940. 6th Panzer Army from Victory Point Games. Yeah, it's another one that's got laser cut counters and all that. This is a book. This is Under the Southern Cross. This is about the Marechal Division. Yeah, I knew of the Marechal Division when they were in Vietnam, but I think they were all conscripts in that division during that war. But I believe this unit fought in the Solomons and other places too. Here's a really good one. This is from Mayfair Games, Red Star Falling. I probably paid too much for this, but these are hard to get a hold of, and the rule books are really simple, and they're generally, these Mayfair game war games are really playable. Here's a good one. Boots on the Ground, 2nd edition. Intel always changes. Portion of this goes to the Navy SEAL Foundation. This is from Worthington Games. I don't have many of their games either. I've heard of this game, so when I saw it at auction, I was like, I better get it. Here's another one from Worthington, 1759, Siege of Quebec. This one's pretty heavy. Alright, and the Douchebag of the Week award goes to the guy who put this on auction. He put a piece of tape on here, which I can't remove because it's pulling up the paper on the box when I try to remove it. So never put a piece of tape on your games. It's not a good idea. Alright, Moscow 1941, The Enemy at the Gates from SPI. And this one's from Clash Arms Games. I don't have too many of their games either. This is Mississippi Fortress. And this is my second copy of this. The price was so low I just bought it to resell. Of Gods and Mortals, Mythological Wargame Rules. This is miniature rules for mythological stuff. Looks pretty cool. NATO, The Next War in Europe. I think I did a first look of this game. Yeah, this one I just bought to resell because the price was right. And last, I couldn't resist this, Monsters Menace America. I figure since I like the creature that ate Sheboygan, I'd try this other game with colossal-sized monsters. It's from Avalon Hill and stuff, too. Alright, let's get to the role-playing games and then the miniatures. Alright, the first RPG thing is the Dragon Tree Spellbook, a playing aid for all fantasy dungeon adventures. This is in really good shape. I paid actually a lot for this. Because it's in really good shape. I've never seen a copy in this good a shape. The only thing wrong with it is there's a bit of a price tag mark there. Other than that, it's essentially mint. Alright, this is Savage Worlds Deluxe, the Explorer Edition, rather. I don't know why I bought this. This is No Thank You Evil, a game of make-believe for creative kids and their families. I just figured that when my kid got older, maybe I'd be able to play it with her. Alright, this is AD&D 2nd edition. The Player's Handbook has significant shelf wear, but still usable. This is Pathfinder in Illinois is actually pretty popular as far as role-playing games. At a lot of the small conventions, there's a Pathfinder group that puts on a lot of games and stuff. This is Pathfinder Abomination Vaults, Adventure Path, Ruins of Gauntlet. This is a good one. This is a basic GURPS book. This one's completely unread. I mean, when I open it, you can tell no one had ever even opened the cover and stuff on it. It's got a small solitaire adventure in it to help teach you the rules and stuff, too. I believe this is from Judges Guild. I buy anything from Judges Guild I can get my hands on. This is Crucis Margin Guidebook for use with Traveler. Here's another Judges Guild book. This one's approved for use with Traveler. This is a Mises Probe, Science Fiction Adventure in the Far Future. Judges Guild, if you ever get a chance to get a hold of these, check them out. They're kind of raw in that it doesn't look as professionally done as like Dragon Magazine or something, but the articles are really useful, and the little modules they include sometimes and stuff and maps, very useful. Extremely useful, actually. Here's another one from Judges Guild, In Search of Killander's Gold. This one here is missing the back cover. However, it's still readable. This is Judges Guild Modron. Features 2 judges and 2 player maps with a walled town on the perilous estuary of Reglaroom. This is another good one from Judges Guild. This is Castle Book 1 Campaign Hexagon Subsystem. Let's go through here. Look, it's got all these castles and stuff set up on hexes here. This is very useful if you're making your own RPG campaign. There's a whole bunch of GURPS books here. We got Compendium 1, Compendium 2, Vehicles and Time Travel. Here's another Pathfinder book, The Inner Sea World Guide. Here's one I couldn't pass up. This is Stargate SG-1, the role-playing game. I didn't even know they had a role-playing game about this, but I saw it at auction. I was like, I better get it. Imagine Aspects of the Wild. And here we have Sword and Sorcery Creative Collection, Dark Menagerie 2, the core rulebook. Here's another Pathfinder one. This is Pathfinder role-playing game, Horror Adventures. And this is AD&D, Player's Options, Spells, and Magic. Let's do the miniatures now. Alright, first thing I got here is some Macedonian light cavalry with lances. Believe it or not, there was such a thing. And the 24-man unit of belly bowmen. Next thing here, what is this? Painted French 1700 to 1720, 28 millimeter. Yeah, they look alright. Here we have a British colonial army and also Zulus and so on and so forth. Let me show you both boxes. Zulus are up here along with a bunch of the cavalry and stuff. There's actually less Zulus than I would have thought you would have in something like this. But down here you can see all the British infantry and so on and so forth. There's more under here. Next. This was marked as a Flash Gordon robot lot. It's a bunch of painted miniatures, most of them robots. Let me show you my favorite ones. This is the reason I bought this, actually. So you got these guys here. These are divers in newt suits with some type of, I don't know if that's an automatic spear gun or what. There's 5 of those in here, which I can use for my hard hat diver game that I'm making. And over here you have some large retro ray gun robots. These look pretty good too. This guy did a decent job painting these. Here's another diver. Looks like his arm came off. I have to fix that. And there's another retro ray gun giant figure. These are some plastic figures he painted. These are blah blah. I don't know if I'll keep those ones. I might sell them. And then over here he's got a bunch of the pre-painted plastic Star Wars figures that he remounted. And here's something interesting. He's got a bunch of these figures here. I believe these are Mage Knight figures that he repainted, but they look good. They seem to be plastic because they're not heavy at all. Show you one more. And then there's more retro ray gun robots here. Here's some of the smaller robots. These look really cool. Then he's got stuff here. I consider these ones partially painted. I guess these would be golden android robots or something. I don't know. And here's some other unfinished stuff of his. Those I'll probably get rid of too. And then some of these, not even sure what these are. And a few miscellaneous robots like that guy. That guy's pretty cool. Alright, here I have some HO buildings that I bought. Not the greatest paint job, but the whole box cost me exactly $2, so I figured that was a pretty good deal. What I'm going to use these for, I'm not going to use these this year or the next year, but in the future, I want to run a modern zombie 20mm campaign, and I'll need a ton of HO buildings for it. Essentially, there's going to be like a city, and then like the Marines are going to have their home base there, home base or whatever, and then they're going to go run missions in the city and stuff. This here, I believe these are 1/600 American Civil War ships. This one's pretty cool right here. The steamship, the Robert E. Lee. That's awesome. Here's a big toolbox on what could be inside. Tons of 28mm Romans. Paint job's not bad at all on them. These guys here have blue shields, and then this comes out here. And you have lots of cavalry down below, and you have some cart ballistas and stuff too. Yeah, we used cart ballistas when I used to play a lot of ancient miniatures, but I don't know if in real life the Romans actually mounted ballistas on cart and fired them from carts and used it to move around the battlefield. I never read anything that said that, so I think that's something that wargamers came up with, but it is cool. Let me show you the cart ballista here. Looks like he's got it on magnets or something. Yeah, here we go. That's pretty cool. These are some 10mm minifigs, World War II early war blisters. 15mm ruined building. This could be used for World War II modern, World War I even earlier, since there's no sign of electrical equipment in it. You could probably use it in the late 1800s too if you really wanted to. And they had chimneys back then. So Beaufort's light anti-aircraft troop. Some thoroughbred miniatures. These are 1/600 scale American Civil War Confederate gunboats. Alright, this says MI2 utility helicopter here. I believe these are micro armor scale. And looks like some M113s. Here we have some MT LBVs. And here's a ton of micro armor infantry. This I got on a whim. This is a 1/48 scale M2 Bradley armored fighting vehicle. Bunch of Flames of War blisters. This is, someone had already used this, a little bit out of it. It's mostly full, but I got it for a very low price. So I can actually use this for stuff, like if I'm painting something that's going to be mostly green, I can prime it and then put this green over it and save a step of painting. Here's some more Flames of War blisters. Here we have a plastic Scorpion tank. And then over here, the guy who was selling these marked them as 172, which I believe is accurate. Yeah, a whole bunch of vehicles painted and stuff. There's a Panther tank there. They look pretty good. Got some more from the same guy here. Yeah, these ones look like Soviet vehicles. Yeah, look good. And last thing to show you guys. Here's a bunch of American vehicles. Very nice. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Just wanted to show you guys what I picked up, since a lot of this stuff I'm going to do first look videos at. Some of it I bought just to resell, but have a good evening.